Bonjour tout le monde. Hi everyone, it's Aaron, and I'm here today with a French verb, avoir, which is one of the most important verbs to know in French. And so whether you are a beginning learner or the parent of a beginning learner, you would want to know this verb that we will go over today. We will conjugate the verb, meaning we will match it up with various subjects to agree in person and number. We will also look at the usage of the verb, and I've got a short quiz for you at the end. By the way, we'll talk about when not to use the verb. So hold on tight, and we will briefly go through this. I would like you to repeat the French words that I'm reading. Avoir, to have. And as we go through the presentation, keep in mind that you should repeat these words. Now here, the yellow words are the various forms or conjugations of avoir, and the white letters are the pronouns, personal pronouns, the subjects. J'ai, I have, j'ai. Tu as, you have, tu as. You can use that with friends or family. Il a, he has. Elle a, she has. On a, we have, or one has. Nous avons, we have. Vous avez, you have, plural. Ils ont, elles ont, they have, both masculine and feminine forms there. Once again, let's read through. J'ai, tu as, il a, elle a, on a, nous avons, vous avez, ils ont, elles ont. I have, you have, he has, she has, and so forth. Now, this is usually used in transitive situations. So, avoir is a transitive verb. That means it takes an object. It doesn't exist on its own in sentences. It has to have an object. And we'll see some examples here. J'ai un frère. I have a brother. J'ai un frère. Tu as une sœur. You have a sister. Tu as une sœur. He has 2 books. Il a 2 livres. We have water. We have some water. Nous avons de l'eau. You have some books. Vous avez des livres. They have the dog. Ils ont le chien. And they have the animals. Elles ont les animaux. Very good. Now, some other usage would be in idiomatic expressions. So in French, we will use the verb avoir with nouns, where in English, we would use the verb être, to be, with adjectives. So we'll see here, I am cold. In French would be j'ai froid, I have cold. Tu as chaud, you're hot. Il a 10 ans, he is 10 years old. Nous avons faim, we are hungry, or we have hunger, literally. Vous avez raison, you are correct, or you are right. Ils ont sommeil, they are sleepy or tired. Elles ont peur, they are scared or afraid. And these are just a few examples of the many idioms or expressions with avoir that you will need to learn. J'ai mangé, tu as parlé, il a regardé. I've eaten, you've spoken, he's watched, or he has looked. On a écouté. Everybody listened or we listened. Nous avons fait. We've done. Vous avez mis. You've placed or put. Elles ont dit. They've said. And you could also take the have out of the English translation and simply say, I ate, you spoke, he looked, we listened, we did, you put, and they said. So in French, we will use this formation with avoir, which is known as the passé composé, to express the past, simple past tense in English oftentimes. This is a verbal or a spoken aspect of French to utilize the passé composé, which is formed with the present tense of avoir in the past participle, which are these words with the white, the words in white are past participle forms of various verbs. So this is avoir as an auxiliary verb, as a helping verb. Keep in mind that être is another helping verb, and so you will distinguish this because specific verbs take être, and that list is to be memorized. Also, pronominal verbs, reflexive verbs, are always conjugated in passé composé with the auxiliary or helping verb être and not avoir. So this is a case where you do not want to use avoir to form the past tense. Je suis resté, I stayed. Tu es retourné, you came back or returned. Nous sommes allés, we went. Elles se sont couchées, they went to bed. Now, back to avoir. There is a specific idiom that we need to know. Avoir besoin de, which we will conjugate j'ai besoin de l'eau, I need water. Tu as besoin de l'air, you need air. And elle en a besoin aussi, she needs some too. Falloir is a separate verb which would mean to have to. So we will not use avoir when we want to say to have to. Il faut payer is the only form that we'll learn because falloir is actually an impersonal verb. It does not match up with all the various possible pronouns and persons, but rather only matches with the impersonal pronoun il. So il does not mean he in this sentence, but it just means il faut payer means you have to pay or one must pay. We have to pay. We must pay. So there is another way to express this with the verb devoir, which is not impersonal but works as most other verbs by changing to agree with the person and number of the subject. Tu dois payer is you ought to pay or you must pay. On doit payer, you have to pay, we have to pay, everyone has to pay. Nous devons payer, we have to pay. So, on to the quiz. Here I would like you to either put in the form of the verb avoir that's missing, that would match the pronoun in yellow, or if the verb is already there, please put the appropriate pronoun before it. Pronouns and verbs must go together in French, unlike Spanish or Italian where you can leave them out oftentimes. You've got to have the subject pronoun, and that's why we're learning them together. So pause the video if you've not had a chance to fill that in, and we'll look at the answers. I'll read them. Nous avons mangé. We've eaten or we ate. Tu as des livres. You have some books. Il a besoin de payer. He needs to pay. On a de l'eau. We've got water. Ils ont un frère. Elles ont un frère. Either way is they've got a brother. Vous avez 30 ans. You have 30 years. No. What would it mean? You are 30 years old. Finally, j'ai faim. J'ai, of course, is written as one word. I have hunger, or I'm hungry. Thank you so much for joining me. We will be bringing you more videos. That's the royal we. On va bring more videos. And anyway, thank you for joining me. Merci beaucoup. And we'll see you for the next video. Take care.